Welcome back to Suburban Hiking. This is the first episode to get uploaded in quite a while. I think since I left Canada, which is pretty crazy. I'm back in the States, as you can see. Not too many places that look like this up there. I didn't really prepare for this. I've never prepared for one of these. It's a low budget show. But I watched the first 5 minutes or so of the first Suburban Hiking. And I speak in the FAMAS from Fortnite. Not the good one really, not the burst rifle, just the FAMAS, just in bursts. Really quick, but not with kind of like I'm doing now, which is what I thought I wouldn't see, seeing as excuse me, I've changed a lot since the first Suburban Hiking video. I thought I was maybe a little more of an eloquent speaker, maybe better breath control. Not really. I think it might just come with the territory of walking and talking, as well as the pressure of the camera. So, goal 1 of Suburban Hiking was to get better at talking. Goal partially achieved. This guy's got his window down. He got red car. I don't get all quiet around people because I have confidence issues in these videos. It's more that I don't want to bother them and make them think they have a YouTuber living in their neighborhood. I don't want to be a YouTuber, but Jesse Kills Gay got 200,000 views. So I suppose I am somewhat of a YouTuber. Jesse Kills Gay. One thing I've had to do since that video blew up, I stopped caring, but I would go through the comments on the YouTube studio page on my computer and just look for any Patrick Bateman profile pictures, and I have to delete 10 comments a day because people were finally, Jesse's cleansing the West. A lot of very odd people gravitate towards that video. A lot of very odd people in the Breaking Bad community in general, which I'm glad to not have been a part of, really. The first time I watched Breaking Bad, I remember the night. It was I was asking my parents if I could watch it for 2 years prior. Because remember, no one ever talks about how Breaking Bad came back, really, right? People always talk about the Minecraft resurgence or the Fortnite. I don't know, do they? They talked about the Minecraft one back in the day, 2019, SMP Live, PewDiePie type shit. But the Breaking Bad resurgence hasn't really been studied. So I'll offer my 2 cents. Cold Ones made that Fiverr video. Going back, not that funny. At the time, best YouTube video I'd ever fucking seen. And they, see, there's that breath control thing. They commissioned Dean Norris on Fiverr to say, no, they weren't the Sussy Bacchic, that was other people, but they said he'd get on Cold Ones or something. And then that kind of became a Twitter meme back years ago, probably 2020. And then Breaking Bad sort of came back from there, really slowly. I remember seeing that and then not watching the show for a year and a half. I had no idea who Dean Norris was. When I finally watched season 5 of Better Call Saul, it didn't really hit that hard, honestly. And I think part of that, it could be slight overhyping, but I think the main part of that is, and like, it just, I should have watched it when it had just came out. Like, I should have just fucking, I should have bit the bullet and learned how to pirate it on my computer, episode by episode, when it was happening. Because I wasn't really tapped in anymore when it finally came to Netflix. And because of that, I waited even longer. I waited like a whole year. There was like a year between me finishing season 4 and season 5. And the end of season 5 still hit like a MFer. In my film class, I had to analyze I don't want to spoil shit, but I had to analyze a very analyzable scene from one of the last episodes. And I wrote like a whole page. But yeah, I mean, I wish I should have just watched it when I was into it, you know? I'm sure if I go back and rewatch Breaking Bad or not even Breaking, I've watched Breaking Bad so many times. If I go back and rewatch Better Call Saul all the way through. What the hell? I haven't walked through here in a little while. I guess there's like motion activated lights now. I've done a lot of LSD since the first video came out. I think I haven't made too many Suburban Hiking since I first did it, but I've done quite a lot of it. Let me think. I've bought it like 3 times. I've probably done acid like 10 times now. It's my favorite drug. I think my first 2 trips were my best trips. They were incredible, life-changing, really fucking dope. I watched You Gotta Have It. Is that what the movie's called? Spike Lee one? I think it's You Gotta Have It. The one about New York. They're probably all about New York. The really good one, okay, the popular one. I watched that for a second time on acid in the summertime. Acid's a summertime drug, by the way. Don't let anybody, don't trip. It's a spring break drug or it's a summertime drug. If you do that shit when you have any kind of responsibilities. I've never had, well, it'd be a lie to say I've never had a bad trip on acid. I've probably had a bad one 5 out of 10 times, but that's no fault to the drug. They're borderline intentional, like taking it on a school nights, school mornings. You can't sleep on LSD, guys. You can't. I mean, actually, wait. Recently, I think the last time I took it, it's November 8th, and last time I took it was Halloween. And before then, I had a little gap. I had like, oh damn, only like a 2-week gap, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I've done a little bit too much acid in a short amount of time. I'm planning on waiting until the winter break maybe or something, and then go into, it'll be fucking cool. I want to go to like Sedona, Arizona in winter break. That pretty place. Hopefully like it rains in early December, and then I can go there after a rain. That'd be kind of lit, honestly. That'd be super lit. And then take some LSD. Treasure in Hollywood. Dreaming and sharing love. A$AP Rocky was my favorite rapper from the first Suburban Hiking, probably to the second last one. The last one took place in Canada, and that's where I remember where I was first listening to Utopia. It would have been June 20th. Right? Was it June or July? I forget. It was summer the 20th of one of those J months. And I had my headphones on. I think I was like drunk and high. I literally was crossfaded every single night of my camping trip. Not in like a rebellion. It was like with my like little cousins. They weren't drunk and they were like 8. But like with my whole family. That was not a weird thing. I don't think they smoked. They're all too old and conservative, but or responsible. I think being I don't know. I believe in a lot of the propaganda that is against weed. Most of it turned out to be true for me. I haven't smoked in, well, I had like I had like 2 hits off of a Roche like a couple days ago. Maybe, was that yesterday? I don't know. Not enough to get high. I haven't like really gotten high in probably a week. I used to struggle a lot with the weed. Like it was like whenever I did it, it was like a moral failing. But I don't really feel that way anymore. I also don't do it as much anymore. I was doing it like every night. Now I do it. Well, my girlfriend, I think she's addicted to weed. I think if I spill details, that is incriminating her. But my 21-year-old girlfriend, I'm 16 by the way, so she's grooming me, is addicted to weed that she does in the safety of her own home. Is my theory, okay? So whenever she hands me a card or something and I bring it home, it's like, that's no good. Well, I don't even get high off cards. I don't get high 9 times out of 10 when I'm consuming weed. I get a tiny bit sedated. That's all it does to me. Is there somebody in this car? No, nope, nobody. Suburban hiking's original goal, I like talking about it like it's a real thing. The original goal for me was to just explore all the little regions around me, get in touch with my area, enjoy the post-monsoon season greenery. And now it's November 8th. I haven't made one since the summertime in a different country. And it hasn't rained in 2 months. That might be off by a couple weeks, but last time it rained was in September, I know that for sure. So, that's kind of wild. It's so dry that my knuckles have been beginning to crack. A whole lot. Not quite to the point they started doing last year, where they literally would bleed like every day. I had to start lotioning like hella a lot. Back when I was taking estrogen, whenever this is before I was dating my current girlfriend, don't worry. Whenever a girl was like holding my hand or something, she'd be like, damn, you have such soft hands. And then I kind of missed that attention after I stopped being trans. So that's a little interesting, I suppose. Let's do a fit check in the darkest possible trail. Ooh, it got so cold in that little patch there. See that patch of like soil? Okay, also I want to add one more thing about taking LSD. I have like permanent vertigo. Permanent in the sense that it will come back. It's a pumpkin top right there. Oh, dude, this little like cold wind feels nice. Fuck. Like sometimes when I look, so I have autism. I've found out in the last little while, maybe. I've known for like a year or 2 or something, and I found out that the effects of psychedelics are very different to people with my affliction. That they're often a lot weaker, right? So I was taking probably a lot more acid than people would do in like a year in a season, right? All in the summertime. And I think that kind of gave me like permanent sort of vision quirks. Like sometimes it's never anything, I'm not complaining at all. I kind of think it's kind of lit. But since LSD affects me differently, one of the major things that I would get instead of like fractals or whatever, or like color enhancement, is just like I don't know what real vertigo is like, by the way. I want to talk. I'm talking about the effect when he's looking down the well in that Hitchcock movie. That kind of vertigo, right? I get that sometimes. Like, the last time I did it was on Halloween. I watched the movie Phantasm. Crazy fucking movie, dude. My eyes were locked to the screen. It's from 1979, horror movie. It's fucked. There's like a really crazy aspect to it. It's the most insane movie that isn't very good I may have ever seen. But so on that night, after I got up from my bed, a little bit geeked just from being scared, but also like peeking, I looked down at my Jake the dog slippers, and they like move far away. Like, I look at it and it moves further away from my sight in a way, which is like, that's pretty neat. But now that will just happen to me like once a day. And again, no complaints, you know, like that old Norm Macdonald bit where it's like, you're telling me I can buy a drug once and get high twice? Like, if I have a flashback? Sign me up. So maybe he's just not autistic enough, who knows? Because he never got a flashback. R.I.P. Norm. I remember my uncle came over, and that guy's got some good conversation starters. He downed his like 7 cigarettes before like 8 a.m. and like 4 beers, and he asked us, me and my parents, who would be bring back from the dead to have a conversation with. And he said, I think he said like, I don't know, I think maybe like John Lennon or something. It was some, I want to give it an or something to like dismiss it, but he had a good answer, right? Even though John Lennon maybe not as smart as he seemed to be, but he had a pretty good answer. And then I thought of mine. I was like, oh, Norm Macdonald, that's a good one, right? And at like the same time, my mom said like her mom, and my dad said his dad, and then I said Norm. And it's like, well, that's not really fair. I don't have a dead parent yet, guys. You can't do that to me. And then fucking mom and uncle who megalaw me, and then my dad is like, Norm? Oh yeah, that's good. I had no idea he knew some good shit. My dad like watches Joe Rogan. He was like watching the new Joe Rogan Elon Musk interview when I walked in on him, and he's rotting his own brain, dude. I think that every day he comes home and he opens up his phone to YouTube Shorts, and he just gets a little dumber every day, and it's pretty sad to see. But I don't know, I guess he can do whatever he wants. I've been trying for the better part of 3 years to bring him back. He's by no means like a Nazi or anything, but it does just bother me seeing the real Anthony Fauci by JFK Jr. on like the kitchen table. Like, he's bought like 2 of these books. He bought 2. He bought like some CIA book, and he bought that book. And they're pretty big. But he hasn't been able to even get like close to finishing them. He's had that Fauci book for the better part of like a year, and he's probably like a quarter of the way through. Like, just admit that it sucks, dude. The book is some ass if you can't read it, or you're just deficient. Yeah, either you can't read and admit that, or the book sucks ass and read a real book. Those are not real books. That is, yeah. My, like I said, I'm 16 years old. My A push teacher, AP US history, found out is a socialist, which is really fucking lit, because he actually teaches the history like objectively, and that is incredibly rare, I think, or I would assume in America. I'm very surprised that the textbook we use in that class is even like allowed. It like blatantly is anti-capitalist just because it tells the truth. Literally, there's nothing radical in it. It's just like it's not like McCarthyist. It doesn't suppress ideas. It just tells things how they are, which is that's a lot of the rhetoric that like conservatives use, where it's like, I'm just telling it like it is. She's a boy. But I really mean it. I don't know how to describe it without making up a political episode. But it's just it kind of like reinvigorates me to see that. It makes me happy. Like my history teacher last year, literally I would just like leave her class coping and seething. Like I remember our Cold War unit, I was dreading it because I knew that she was just gonna butcher it. Like on our, we did like a whole day on the Cuban Missile Crisis, and not like a single time did she mention that the U.S. put nukes in Turkey pointed at Moscow first. Like, I hear a little bit of a conversation up here. What I thought I heard was, fuck you, and then like a dog yapping. So I hope I didn't hear that, because I'm walking in a trail where a lot of people live in at night. This could be that guy's home that I'm trespassing in, which is not something I want to do. I have some pretty significant math homework tonight. And the day I was really committed to doing it, and I'm still gonna do it, I'm telling myself. But man, the days just end so quickly these days. It's 6 p.m. in California. And look at it, it's like fucking 4 p.m. in Canada. What's this bullshit? You feel me? Need I say more? Benjamin, Smackington. You feel me? The shoes I got on are some Cardinal Red Jordan 3s. They're pretty fucking cool. There's no lights around here, so I don't think I'm really doing a fit check. I didn't bring any weed. I kind of had an idea that like it's a tradition to like smoke something at the end of a Suburban Hiking video, which I think it is, right? I've been doing that like the whole time. And I was like planning on bringing a cigarette in my little Bob Ross tin from the very first video. And I just didn't put anything in here. It's an empty tin that I have to carry home with me. I'm down at the river. And I haven't been here in quite a while, really. I haven't really walked about since I got back home from Canada, I think, right? So that's fun for me. I've been busy as fuck. I have a job. I got a bitch. I got, like, all my free time that I get, I cherish so much. So I'm like, I'm gonna spend my free time doing nothing. And then by doing nothing, I'll find myself opening TikTok, or I'll just, well, the new Fortnite season came out. I think I was a little bit depressed until that happened, and then it genuinely brought a lot of joy back into my life, which is nice. Every night fucks every day up. Every day patches the night up. You feel me? My girlfriend lives right over there, I think. Biker. E-bikers aren't real people. E-bikers can go to hell. If you can't ride a real bike, don't ride a bike at all. Goodbye, family.